And I said right then and there, I will not be straight-jacketed by anyone. I'm going to be completely free. There was simply no way to go. There was no path for me. I was a hobo for roughly 12 years, off and on, because I always took a job if I could find one. This was mostly during the Depression. It was one of the greatest experiences, to be very tired of carrying a pack and throw it down, buy a nice, beautiful brook, and find sticks for a fire and build a fire and be careful not to start a fire that you don't want. Of course, hobos are extraordinarily individualistic people. That's why they're hobos. They cannot conform to the society, that the strictures of a city. You never find them in cities to speak of. I'm talking about the Depression, which is what I know best. But I doubt if people have changed. In other words, what I'm saying is that there are the same kinds of people today. There are the same kinds of people who will go out on the road and thumb their nose at society and say, I'm going to do everything by myself. I can remember taking a blanket out on the American River and saying, oh, thank heaven, I don't have to go to a flop house tonight. And thank heaven I can build a fire on my own and buy something that's infinitely cheaper and infinitely better and cook it myself than to go into some stupid hash joint.
Gee, I was glad to hear from you. Believe it or not, pal, I just received your letter today. It must have followed me all over the world, but it got to my wife and she wrote it open and read it and sent it to me this morning. Well, I came back east and run into a shotgun wedding, and I was a gold. So back on the bomb again.
Now, I think my music is intrinsically corporeal, that it has a body feeling about it. I care what the instruments look like. They are pieces in space. They are spatial products. And being in space, they have to look great. They have to be inspiring all by themselves. Then the man or woman who plays that instrument is a part of the instrument. It's a oneness. It's a wholeness. And by God, if I have anything to say about it, he's not going to look like an amateur California prune picker. I've never had the feeling I was competing with anyone. It is my aim to hold an audience, just as any playwright wants to hold his audience, just as Euripides wanted to hold his audience. I've built 3 kitharas since 1938, and these 3 are probably the first that have been built in the last 1,500 years. The kithara is a lyre, the instrument used by the professional Greek musician. The lyre of Orpheus had 3 strings. The traditional number of strings was 8, but lyres were experimented with, of course. One of the very famous experimenters was Timotheus from Sparta, of all places, who increased the number of kithara strings from 8 to 12. For the crime of 12 strings, the Spartans drove the immoral Timotheus from their city. He had failed to realize that to dream of desirable changes is one thing, to act upon those dreams is another. My kithara has 72 strings, and I shudder to think what might have happened to me in ancient Greece. But when someone does something different these days, we simply ignore him to death.